honey now, I mean, it can be used in a variety of things, you know, just complementing the meat itself, but it's extremely more versatile than a table, you know, sugar or something like that.
Yeah.
To incorporate it in any of those things.
That's cool. So we're just going to do a kind of spontaneous taste testing of a couple of the varietals I just brought back. First one we're going to do is a Mountain Wildflower, and just to kind of preface the origin, it's a New Mexico-based honey. It's 8,000 foot elevation honey, so they move the hives really high up in the mountains. So you're going to get, you know, it's a lighter colored honey, kind of a light amber color, like golden color. So yeah, we're just going to taste it. Maybe just, you know, initially off the top of your head, what you would maybe use the honey in, what kind of flavor notes you're getting, mouth feel, you know, just make some comments about the honey.
Yeah.
Just use one of the handy coffee stirrers.
Handy little stirs. You know I'm allergic to wood like this.
Oh, really?
No, no.
If he breaks down hives, it's just the wood.
The aroma itself is real subtle, real light. There's not much to me except a little, like, it's florally, if that's a word. It's floral. The thickness is nice, yeah. It's not real thick, which is good. The mouthfeel is really nice. It's real smooth. It's not granulated, crystallized, or whatever. There's a little bit of a peppery note, like from the cinnamon, maybe a little spice. That gets me on the back. I would say it's slightly sweet, not as sweet as some of the other ones. I think it's pretty, I would imagine this is pretty versatile it'd be perfect for tea. Like, I'm thinking tea right off the top of my head. Also, I mean, I would probably use this in a lot of those dishes that we talked about, because of the subtlety of it. And it would also be great on some types of, like in a parfait, where you're wanting to add a little bit of the cinnamon notes, the aftertones like that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Good suggestions. Alright, and then the next honey we're going to taste here is a Desert Wildflower. And this is...
It's kind of orangey too. There's a little
orange
citrus
quality.
in there. Yeah. A little citrus, like I just did another little take on the middle of my tongue. Yeah, there's a little bit of citrus in there too.
Cool.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah. Alright, the next honey we're going to taste here is a Desert Wildflower. And this has about 40 different wild local nectars. You're getting tamarisk, mesquite, different cactus blossoms. So it has a pretty rich flavor. You know, you can tell the coloration of the honey is much darker. So let's see what Jeff's take on it is.
The color's intense, huh? Yeah, I mean, that's aromatic. Strong notes of floral again. That smells really good. Slightly thicker than the wildflower over there, yeah.
You're like an alchemist.
The viscosity on both of these are really high quality. How it just kind of drizzles and just kind of folds away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the honeys that, and I don't know if I'm accurate on this, but when I do one of these, when I'm looking at honeys, to test the viscosity of it, you know, if it just kind of holds up, to me it's harder to work with, but when you do the little drizzle like this and it just kind of falls back, you know, having a lower viscosity, to me personally, I can incorporate that in dishes much better.
Yeah.
Without having to manipulate anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's thicker on the mouth feels Can I get another?
Sure. It's a lot to take in.
It's a little tangy. There's some tangy notes to it that gets me in the middle and the back. It's pretty deep. It's pretty complex, actually. There's a lot going on in there. Any flavor that actually stands out to me, I can't identify one pronounced flavor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's kind of buttery, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty sweet. Yeah. I like that.
Where would you see that profile fitting maybe a little bit more precisely? You know, like the mountain wildflower, you're saying teas, where would the desert, what kind of niche do you think that would fill more?
Yeah, the wildflower, teas would be good. You know, just drizzled over something simple. Because, I mean, obviously it's so subtle. You know, you want to, in my opinion, I want to enhance whatever ingredient that I'm using with. And if this was a star, I wouldn't want to mask it with other stuff. So I'd leave that shine. This is pretty deep. And I think it might be one of those things where your palate could actually be burned out if you use too much of it. So I would probably incorporate, something a little brighter into the mix. Something brighter, something lighter, and just complement these deeper, complex flavors.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to use something super heavy flavored with that honey. You want to use a lighter, and then to kind of round out the lightness, add that as a component.
This would be perfect too for like savory breads.
Like biscuits, maybe, or cornbread,
or even flatbreads. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking, like off the bat, because when I do my pizza doughs, I always try to incorporate honey in there to kind of balance out whatever I'm putting on for the top. But I could see this being really well married to, like, you know, like the acidity of tomatoes, you know, like a flat, just subtle cheese, and just, you know, some bright herbs. Yeah. And have this incorporated into the bread itself. Would be pretty delicious. I could do the same thing with a crepe. Do you know what I mean? Actually incorporate that into more of a fresh, bright, acidic, you know, like an acidic type of ingredient mix. Yeah. That's how I'd probably incorporate that. That's pretty deep. That's complex. Yeah. What did you get out of it?
Well, yeah, I definitely, that buttery quality, I for sure get that. You know, I get like caramel. Yeah. There's a little bit of a pungent quality, I think, just from maybe the tamarisk. It has like a, you know, all desert honeys have a slight pungent quality to them. Not, okay. Yeah, yeah, I maybe a stretch, but I almost said like creme brulee, because it has like a, like that buttery kind of creamy finish to it.
You could probably do, like, a creme brulee would be tough because I don't know how it would sit with the cream and the sugar and the yolk. Yeah. But if you think about like almost like a pudding, in a sense, you know, which you could take the same elements of a creme brulee, but you wouldn't bake it per se. Yeah. And incorporate that into, or you can even incorporate this into a crumble. So take almost like a nut. So if you're going to do something sweet like that, for example, again, keep it with the vanilla notes, keep it with maybe like a citrus, something or another, right? Keep that as a base. Roll this into some nut, because one of the things that I use honey for, and I didn't even really think about this, but I use it almost as a glue. Oh, it's nice. A perfect adhesive to incorporate like a little texture to whatever dish you're making. So you could literally take ground nuts, roll it up, bake it or freeze it or something, get it to glue up, and use that as almost like a topping to like a pot of creme. That sounds awesome. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Or like a parfait of something. So you can almost make your own little simple granola out of this. You know what I mean?
Totally. Just mix up some nuts and